The first thing you're going to do is make sure that your paper is vertical. That means up and down or tall like a door. And you're going to write your name at the bottom. Make sure when you're doing your artwork that you're not going to paint over your name. So make it small in the bottom. Now you're going to take a colorful oil pastel and draw a line across the center. And that is going to separate your sky from your ground, your horizon line. And you can draw yours darker than mine. Now, the next thing we're going to do is switch out for our black oil pastel. Put your hand above the line. Now, my hand is big and your hands are small, so you might want to put your hand a little bit higher. This is our penguin. You want to make sure that your penguin is pretty big. Leave a little bit of room at the top for the colors that we're going to do, and you have your bottom. And now we're going to go back to our colorful oil pastel, and we are going to draw an iceberg. And I'm going to make my iceberg a little bit bigger than my penguin, 2 lines going down. And then I'm going to get creative and make a line that can wiggle and move and go across until it meets the other side of the line. And now we have our iceberg. And the next thing you're going to do, now for the fun part, we are going to start painting an expressionist style background, and we are going to paint our icebergs. You can paint your iceberg any color, but in the middle you guys will see a glittery paint. We are going to leave that for last. So nobody use that until the very, very end, and I'll show you what we're going to use it for. It's going to go over our iceberg, but we have to wait for the paint to dry. Now, we're going to try this. We have some white. In each little well, there's one color. I'm starting with blue, and there's a little white mixed in there. So I'm mixing the white to get this cool blue color, a light blue color. See how I'm going around my name so that my name doesn't get painted over? And then when you're done, I actually want you to paint as many stripes as you can until your paint runs out of your brush, so that we're not just washing all our brush right away. We're actually going to see if we can do this without our water for a little bit. And so go ahead and use up as much of the paint that you got as you can making stripes. So I finished with my light color. I don't really need to wash it or wipe it or anything to get the darker color. So I'm going to dip it in there and get the darker. Now if you run out and you need more, of course you can dip straight in there. You're all the way done with one color. It's time to wipe your brush on the messy mat. You've used up as much as you possibly could on your painting, and now just lightly paint on your messy mat. And remember, be kind to Mr. Brush. Don't press too hard on his hair. Keep him looking good. And then when you've wiped as much as you can, you're going to go ahead and get your next color. So I'm going to do the same thing on this one, where I'm going to paint as much of it as I can with the first color I get, and then go ahead and paint stripes over the rest, and keep going and keep mixing colors until my whole paper is completed. Now you may reach a point where your arms can't really reach up any farther without getting your sleeves all messy. So go ahead and flip your painting upside down, and you can do the rest of it upside down where you can reach it. Your goals are to paint stripes using all of the paint that you get on your paper until it's almost all gone, and then wiping the last little bit onto your messy mat. You can put the colors in any order. When you're done, the iceberg will have dried. So then you can get the middle super exciting sparkly paint and paint it over whatever color you put on your iceberg, and then go ahead and take it to the drying rack. Today we're going to be working on making our penguin, and we are going to take our paper between 2 hands and rip off the pieces. They don't have to be too small. You can also rip one long slice, and then it might be easier to rip off the other pieces. Notice how my thumbs are pulling opposite from each other. In order to rip, you want to pull your hands away, and if you want to keep your fingers close. See how it was harder to rip when my hands were farther away, and when they're close to the rip, then it's easier. So you'll just go ahead and rip all of your paper into one pile. You'll take your oil pastel and make a rainbow inside of your penguin for its belly. That part is going to remain white. The rest of it we're going to put the black on. We're going to take our glue brush, wipe it on the lip, not the lips on your face. And go ahead and spread glue on a section of your penguin. Then you're going to take all the pieces that you have ripped and you're going to spread them over the penguin, trying to overlap just a little bit so that there's glue on it, but that a lot of white doesn't peek through. And you're just going to repeat that. You don't want to probably glue the whole thing because it'll start to dry out, but once you put the glue down, you need to work quickly putting your pieces on it. Once you have your whole penguin covered in black, you're going to take your eye pieces, add a little glue to the back of those, take the beak and add a little glue. And if you have any pieces that are sticking up on the black, you can go ahead and glue those down a little bit better. Once you're done with that, you'll take your oil pastel again and make some little pupils on your penguin. And then we will get out the white pastel. And you can use the white pastel to draw lines over your landscape. So I'm using straight lines and polka dots on the bottom, and on the top I want it to look a little like snow, so I decided to do more polka dots and spirals on the top. You can decide what you want to do on yours. It can be different than mine, and I hope you get creative and have fun doing it. Remember, creativity takes courage, and you got this.